Hey guys, Chris Everett here with JT Outdoor Products, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about trout and salmon fishing with the JT Panhandler rod. The warmer weather's here and everything's starting to come back to life in our rivers and streams, and so spring is a great time to get out there and put some quality fish on the board. I fish a variety of different waters up here in Maine, everything from large rivers to ponds and small streams and brooks, and my go-to rod is this 7-foot JT Panhandler. This rod comes in two different sizes, a 6'6" and a 7-foot. And for my type of fishing, I do a lot of bank fishing and wade fishing, so I like the 7-footer just to get a little bit of extra distance on my cast. It's a one-piece full carbon rod, so it gives you a ton of sensitivity. It's an ultralight, fast action rod, which is really what you want for trout fishing. It's got good hook setting power and enough bend to keep those fish pinned when you get those aggressive head shakes that trout will give you. It's got Fuji reel seats. It's got recoil line guides. Let me see if I can show you that. I'm sure you probably have seen them before, but the best thing about these guides is if you're fishing in the fall or early spring when you get really cold weather and you start getting some ice built up on your guides, you just give them a flick like that and the ice is gone. You don't have to try to sit there and pick it out. I've got this paired with a 2500 size reel, and it's really just preference. You can use anything from a 1000 size to a 2500 size. Just make sure that you have a quality lightweight reel. I really like the 2500 size. I do a lot of fishing in current, and I like the extra drag, tension, and line capacity I can get. The line is also personal preference. Some people like the sensitivity of braid. I like something with a little bit more stretch to help absorb those head shakes. The line that I use is a 6-pound P line, and it's a fluorocarbon coated monofilament. So it's got great abrasion resistance around rocks and debris in the river, and it's got a stretch similar to mono. I'll talk to you guys a little bit about what I like to throw for lures on this rod. It's an ultralight rod, so it throws lightweight baits extremely well, and it can handle some heavier stuff also. I'm a big spoon guy, and you can see right now I have a spoon tied on there. That's a 1/8 ounce spoon, and occasionally I'll throw 1/4 ounce spoons. And I really like to use more natural colors in the spring, so I really like white. Smelt imitations are really good, and just natural baitfish colors work really well in the spring. Everybody knows about spinners. Spinners are always a good trout bait to use. I also like to keep those to natural colors as well. Spoons and spinners are really good searching baits, but when the bite gets a little more tough, I like to throw on some smaller crankbaits like these. These are just suspending crankbaits, and you can really slow them down and fish them real slow. You can see I got them rigged with single hooks just because I mostly catch and release. It just makes it easier. These are all 1/8 ounce, different profiles of course, and occasionally I'll throw on a bigger bait such as this. It's a 1/4 ounce, about a 3-inch bait. These are about 2.5 inches. When the bite gets really tough, I'll throw on a small jig head with a soft plastic. These trout magnets work really well. These little grubs are a great springtime tactic when the hatches are just starting out, and you can suspend these underneath a float depending on what depth you want it to be at. And if you're fishing in smaller streams, you don't even need the float. You can just tie this on, and then about 2 or 3 feet above this you want to clip on a little split shot, and that way you can just kind of flip it out there and dabble down the brook. You can flip it into little runs and pools, and just look for those seams because that's where they're going to be hanging out, and towards the tail end of pools. Those are my favorite spots to fish. So if you guys are looking for a new trout rod this year, make sure you check out the JT Panhandler at jtodp.com.